After losing the dare, I could only bite the bullet and send a specific message to my cool roommate who was also an alpha. "Hey, Logan, I want to have a baby with you." Unexpectedly, he took it seriously and pressed me under him that night. I struggled. Alphas and alphas can't have children. He pretended not to hear me, with a smile on his lips. "Who said you can't have a baby? As long as I'm deep enough, you can have a baby." 1. The box was filled with noise and everyone's eyes were on me, with uncontrollable curiosity. The alpha student on the other side couldn't help but ask, "What is the punishment for the big dare that Owen drew?" I lowered my head, glanced at the words on the card, and read them aloud. "And the 27th person from the bottom of the list. I want to have a baby with him." As soon as I finished speaking, there was a burst of booing around me, urging me to post it quickly, as if they were afraid that I would cheat, which made me laugh. I was calm and said I would never cheat. Then I opened WeChat and started sliding my finger across the screen, counting and scrolling through the list, looking for the 27th person from the bottom. Suddenly, my right eyelid twitched for no apparent reason, and I had a bad feeling. When I counted to 27, my premonition came true, and I saw that the place where my finger paused corresponded to a name, Logan. When I saw these two words clearly, I felt a black screen in my eyes and I wished I could bang my head against the wall and die. Logan, my roommate, is an S-level alpha who was voted as the school's most handsome boy right after he entered the school. He is aloof and doesn't like to talk. However, these are not the point. What is the point? The point is I am also an alpha. How can two alphas have a baby? Not to mention that he and I don't have a good relationship. Not long after he entered college, his susceptible period came early. I kindly sent him to the infirmary, but he treated me coldly. He also told me not to get close to him and told me to get out of here in various ways. His kindness was really taken for granted. I was so angry that I didn't want to talk to him for the whole semester. If I were to rashly send him a message now, especially one that could lead to such suggestive messages, I don't know if he would think I'm a pervert. I was distressed, but no one else knew. The surroundings erupted with even more intense noise. "Oh my God, Logan. The 27th one is actually Logan. Damn. I've been looking forward to it for the whole time. Owen, you must accept the loss and not cheat. That's right. A real man should just go for it. Owen, fuck him." I couldn't go back on my word in front of everyone, so I could only grit my teeth and agree. I clicked into Logan's WeChat chat box and typed, "Hey Logan, I want to have a baby with you." When I clicked send, I had already thought about how I was going to die. It's over. It's over. Logan must think I'm a pervert, a homosexual who has been coveting him for a long time. My innocence is in danger. I felt so sad that I couldn't even cry. My phone was taken away by everyone to see Logan's reply. 1 second passed, 2 seconds, half an hour passed, and there was no response from Logan, and the chat history was empty. Logan is so cool. He didn't even reply with a question mark. How boring. One of the Omega girls waved her hand and sighed, followed by a few more sighs from the surroundings. Ah, I didn't see Logan's reaction. So boring. Ah, I didn't see Owen get humiliated. So boring. When everyone was expressing their regret, I was the only one who felt relieved, but afterwards I felt worried again. Because it was a dare punishment, I was not allowed to actively explain before Logan got back to me. At that time, I was like an ant on a hot pan, running around in circles in a panic. No, I will explain everything to Logan as soon as I get back. I am definitely not a pervert who covets him. I definitely don't like him. I don't want to have a baby with him at all. Not at all. 2. After finishing the club's team-building activity, I hurried back to the dormitory. When I came in, I was afraid that I would be embarrassed to see Logan, but when I opened the door, I found that no one was there. At the same time, the phone vibrated several times. 2 unread messages popped up in the group chat. I clicked in. Head of the room, Isaac. I am accompanying my partner today, so I will not be returning to the dormitory. You 3 should guard the dormitory well. Jack. Same as above. I won't reply either. Oh? What does that mean? Am I the only one who is single? Jack, you damn beta? Don't you have a girlfriend? The other party replied immediately, we are different. I almost caught up with her, but you are the one who didn't, single dog. After saying that, he also sent a dog emoticon. He seems taciturn on weekdays, but who knows, he is actually a hypocrite and a repressed person. I couldn't help but want to retort, but then I suddenly realized, wait, if that's the case, then wouldn't it be just Logan and I in the dormitory tonight? Shit, I couldn't help but curse and looked at the chat history box with Logan. Oh, it was a message from 3 hours ago, and he didn't reply. Are you busy and not looking at your phone? Or do you really think I'm a pervert and don't want to bother with me? My face turned green and I paced back and forth in the dorm in a frenzy. Damn it, why haven't you come back yet? Why haven't you come back yet? I waited and waited until my eyes could hardly open and I could have fallen asleep while standing. But Logan didn't come back. I gritted my teeth and couldn't help but send another message. Are you going back to the dormitory tonight? Half an hour passed, and there was still only my message in the chat box. Dense is my self-esteem. If I don't wait any longer, I'll seem like a dog. I quickly climbed onto the bed and closed my eyes. I have to say that being young is great. I fell asleep right away and slept so soundly that I didn't even hear the door of the dormitory open. 3. The bed began to creak and shake, as if an uninvited guest had come to visit. As an alpha, I was alert and woke up from my dream. I opened my eyes and saw that there was indeed a figure on the bed. I stood up and planned to release the pheromone suppression, but was stunned when I saw the man's face clearly. Logan, why are you climbing into my bed? Don't you have a bed of your own? I asked in confusion, but he didn't answer. Instead, his eyes lingered on my collar, which was sticky and hot, making me feel uncomfortable. When I was about to speak again, he suddenly rushed over. It happened suddenly, and I was easily pressed under him. The moment our bodies touched, I felt the scorching heat through my pajamas. At the same time, the pheromones with the scent of white peach spread wildly, instantly filling the entire dormitory. Logan, what the hell do you want? I struggled to get up, but was a little dazed when I met his deep eyes. The eyes that were usually as calm as an ancient well were no longer clear and bright, but were filled with lust. I began to realize, Logan has entered a susceptible period. Let me go. I'll give you an inhibitor, I said. Logan remained unmoved. I became a little impatient and started releasing pheromones to fight back. Suddenly, there was a lemon-scented pheromone in the air. The feeling of alpha pheromones colliding with alpha pheromones should not be pleasant, but I don't know if it's my illusion or what. The white peach-flavored pheromones blend with my lemon-flavored pheromones in a lingering and affectionate way. I continued to struggle, asking, what the hell are you trying to do by holding me down? The person who had been silent all this time spoke up at this moment. What? He tilted his head, as if puzzled, and suddenly moved closer. His warm breath instantly touched my neck, making it tingle and numb. Didn't you say you wanted to have a baby with me? So I came back. Satisfy you. I was speechless and my face suddenly felt hot. I didn't know if it was because I was angry or what. After a few seconds of silence, I finally found my voice. I was kidding, can't you tell? Alphas can't have children with alphas. I felt a little ashamed when I mentioned this, and I became less and less confident, and my voice became lower and lower. Unexpectedly, a soft laugh came from above, and when I looked up, I met Logan's obsidian black eyes. He pretended not to hear with a smile on his face. Who said I can't have a baby? As long as I'm deep enough, you can give birth. I was stunned, a little dazed. Are you kidding? So flirty? Damn it, is this still the Logan I know? I screamed in my heart, and suddenly I felt a little hot on my lower back. It was the temperature from Logan's fingertips, coming through my pajamas. A tingling sensation swept over Logan, who opened his mouth and tapped his fingers further down. Go deep, then chisel away. You will be able to give birth. My lower back is very sensitive. When he did that, I felt my body become a little stiff, and my earlobes felt inexplicably hot. Damn, Logan is the real pervert. Didn't I just send a message? I struggled in anger, but Logan held me down. They were all young boys in their teens and 20s, full of vigor and vitality. There was always a fire hidden in their bodies, and the weather happened to be hot, so they got up all of a sudden. I suddenly stopped, my face flushed, and I was so embarrassed that I wanted to find a hole to crawl into. This fucking world. Logan seemed to have noticed my abnormality. His eyes were deep and inexplicably hot. He opened his thin lips slightly and hesitated. You! His gaze shifted downwards, making me feel even more embarrassed. I tilted my head and muttered, "Why are you so surprised? It never happened to me." The voices behind him became lower and less confident. But before I could get angry, I heard a click, the belt was unbuckled, and a cool breeze blew in. Logan suddenly lowered his head. His thin lips were rosy, and half of my body froze because of his action. Unable to move, I didn't come to my senses until the air was filled with a strong scent of lemon. The huge stimulation made me unable to stop breathing. I squinted my eyes and looked at the person who just got up. The color of Logan's lips in my sight was redder than before, and my heart skipped a beat for some reason. His eyes seemed to have regained clarity, and all the white peach-scented pheromones were taken back, leaving only the fresh scent of lemon on his body. Question. If A is an alpha, B is also an alpha, and they are roommates with each other and their relationship is not very good. But B was susceptible yesterday and accidentally did something embarrassing with A. What should we do? How should a face be in the future? Urgent. Please help. Not long after I sent the post, my phone started vibrating nonstop. I couldn't help but sigh. Modern netizens are so enthusiastic. I'd still like to be netizens with you guys in my next life. I sat in the last row and looked around with a guilty conscience. Isaac on the left was playing games, not paying attention to anything else, while Jack on the right was chatting with someone, with a slight smile on his face. I breathed a sigh of relief, then lowered my head to scroll through the comments section, thinking there would be some useful suggestions. However, my smile suddenly froze when I read the content. Comments. My words are not pleasant to listen to, so I am leaving first. Shame on you? How shameful is it? Tell me how shameful it is. What should I do? I have no choice but to do it. Good roommate. I understand. I understand everything. I don't understand. How about you do it again and explain it in detail? I should have known not to post this. None of them are reliable. I was depressed and was about to quit when I accidentally pulled down the comments, refreshed the interface, and glanced at the latest comment, and my eyes lit up. Like to eat lemons. I have encountered a similar situation and it has been resolved peacefully. I was overjoyed and started typing. Fidelity? Then can you teach me? The other party replied immediately. Yes. Okay. Brother. Oh brother. You are truly my half-brother. The corners of my mouth curled up wildly, and just when I was about to brag to my brothers on the opposite side, I was suddenly elbowed in the left shoulder. Shit. Sneak attack? What do you want to do? I looked up and saw that the students in the last 3 rows had stood up one after another, and I was the only one still sitting. Isaac's eyes were twitching like crazy, motioning towards the podium. I turned my head and saw Professor Luke, who was known as the nightmare of our college, standing on the podium, staring straight at the students in the 3 rows behind us. His eyes seemed to be able to spit fire. Didn't I tell you last class that no one is allowed to sit in the back 3 rows? Did you leave home without your ears? Give it to me. Now. Immediately. Go find a good seat up front. As soon as the roar died down, the people around him ran away like mad dogs, scrambling for seats in the front row. Isaac grabbed my wrist and ran straight to the first row. So why do latecomers win? Because the last 3 rows are not open to people. When I ran to the aisle, I suddenly stopped. There were 3 seats in the middle of the first row, enough for Isaac, Jack, and I to sit, but the alpha in the seat sat upright, with a tall figure, cold white skin, and superior profile. As if he sensed someone approaching, he suddenly turned his head, and my figure was reflected in his dark eyes. My heart skipped a beat and I quickly turned my head. I heard Isaac's urging voice. No, Owen, what are you doing here? Professor Luke is going to be angry. Come in quickly. I opened my mouth, wanting him to go in and sit next to Logan first, but he shoved me in before I could say anything. Finally, you came in. You almost stabbed me with your eyes. Isaac looked at Professor Luke on the stage and let out a sigh of relief. As the distance got closer, I could smell the fresh scent of lemon-scented shower gel emanating from Logan's body, the same scent that was stained on him after last night. My ears can't stop burning when I recall something so embarrassing. Damn it. After the whole class, I didn't even dare to move. I felt like sitting on pins and needles, walking on thin ice. This state of mind was naturally noticed by Professor Luke, so I was extremely lucky and won the prize and was selected to answer questions. Owen, what should I choose for this question? I was a little confused and felt dizzy looking at the densely packed words on the screen. As I remained silent, Professor Luke's eyes on the podium gradually turned cold, and the sense of oppression increased. Normally, if someone can't answer a question, he can scold you for 30 minutes in various ways without using any swear words. I felt a little guilty and lowered my head, preparing to face the impending catastrophe. Logan beside him moved, and the sound of draft paper flipping was heard, and a big D suddenly appeared on the blank paper. Choose D. Sit down. Pay attention in class. Don't stare blankly. You can't even see such a big screen. I nodded and sat down somewhat awkwardly. Thanks. While Professor Luke turned around, I quickly thanked Logan. From the corner of my eye, the corners of his mouth seemed to curve up, but it also seemed not to. 5. The bell rang, and the tense Khan's military roll call finally ended, allowing us to breathe a sigh of relief. Isaac, Jack, and I walked out of the classroom, covered the screen with our cell phones, and sent a message to the brother who liked to eat lemons. Brother, are you still there? Exist. That's what you said, after having sex with your roommate. How can you continue to get along with him in a friendly and non-awkward way? I walked along, anxiously waiting for news. Suddenly, a shadow approached, and I turned back subconsciously. I didn't know when Logan walked behind us. What are you doing? I was shocked, afraid that Logan would see the message I sent. He pursed his lips, stared at me with his dark and indifferent eyes, and said hesitantly, I'm sorry about what happened last night. What happened last night? Did Jack and I do something shameful to you too last night when we were not here? Isaac suddenly put his arm around my shoulders, interrupting Logan. I was susceptible last night and I couldn't control myself and crawled in the middle of the night. That's enough. Stop talking. In desperation, I covered Logan's mouth with my hand. No, brother, if you have something to say, you really mean it. Isn't that glorious? The warm and soft touch passed through my palm, which reminded me of the wonderful experience last night. For a moment, I felt my face burning and I couldn't stop feeling restless. What the hell is going on? Why are you still blocking Logan's mouth? Nothing happened. Don't worry. Don't ask. Jack on the side hooked Isaac's shoulder and said, Don't ask about things you shouldn't ask about. What? You're so mysterious. Although Isaac grumbled, he didn't ask any questions. I felt relieved. Suddenly, another pair of bony hands covered my hands, and a cold touch spread. How long are you going to keep my mouth shut? Just then I reacted and the temperature of my palms began to rise rapidly. Sorry. After letting go of Logan, he moved closer, his warm breath on my face. Fine. I should say sorry. Last night. Shit. Last night. It's last night again. Can you please not mention last night? I'm almost having a psychological trauma. The most important thing is that I don't know who took advantage of me. It's really fucked up. My face flushed, and I felt inexplicably ashamed. I gritted my teeth and said, Don't ever mention those 4 words from last night again. Logan looked at me for a few seconds and finally said, Okay. I have always been thin-skinned since I was a child, and now I felt very embarrassed in front of Logan, so I walked to the front and started reading the news, like to eat lemons. Get along normally. If he apologizes or compensates you, just accept it, don't avoid it. Huh? Wouldn't that be even more embarrassing? No, it won't be awkward in a few days. If you avoid it, it will only be more embarrassing. I scratched my head. Really? Real? 6. Over the next few days, Logan brought me meals, saying he felt very sorry and wanted to make amends. I rejected him very righteously at first, but the alpha in front of me, who was known for his aloofness, lowered his eyes, his eyelashes trembling, and looked like he was betrayed by a heartless man. He even said, "If this hadn't happened that night, would you have been less resistant?" Enough. That's enough. Thinking about what my brother who likes to eat lemons said, I calmed down and gave an awkward and unfriendly smile. I didn't resist. I didn't resist at all. Logan then raised his head, with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. In this way, he took on the task of helping me prepare meals and taking care of all the 3 meals a day. One morning at 8 o'clock, I rushed to the classroom in a daze. There were still 10 minutes before the class started. As usual, Isaac, Jack, and I were still in the back 3 rows, and Logan sat in the front row. He walked to the back and handed me the breakfast naturally. Isaac, who was standing by, waited for Logan to leave and looked at him carefully. "Owen, didn't I remember that your relationship with Logan was not very good? How come it has improved so much recently?" He hooked his arm around my neck and asked, "Are you two having an affair?" Ahem. I was frightened by his words and started coughing. "What adultery? Shut up. We are roommates. What do you know?" Isaac had an indescribable expression on his face and he snorted twice. "Why don't I see Logan showing any roommate affection towards me? Wasn't he cold and unenthusiastic before? Strange. Did he take the wrong medicine?" I felt a little guilty and stopped answering. You can't say that he did something shameful to me to make it up to me. Isaac's chattering soon stopped when the class bell rang. In class, when I looked up at the blackboard, I caught a glimpse of Logan's back, and I couldn't help but sigh. It seems that Isaac is right. My relationship with Logan has improved, and we are no longer just nodding acquaintances like before. After getting to know him, I found that he is actually quite considerate and caring, but he seems a bit pretentious. I took out my phone and typed, "Brother Lemon, how is your relationship with your roommate who you had sex with now? Love to eat lemons? Yeah, better than before." It seems that not all embarrassment is bad, and I began to feel relieved. 7. It was a hot summer day. I just finished a physical education class and was sweating profusely. I ran straight to the dormitory and planned to take a shower to cool down. When I came back, the dormitory was empty. I was holding my clothes, and as soon as I turned the bathroom doorknob, I heard a low gasp. They were all boys, and they all knew what was going on. My whole body froze instantly, but my eyes are faster than my brain, and before I could react to leave, I had already caught a glimpse of the scene inside. Logan's hair was wet at that time, as if he had just washed it. He pushed the loose hair on his forehead back, and his protruding Adam's apple rolled up, even with water droplets on it. His lean waist was full of strength, and the muscle lines of his arms were obvious, which made people blush inexplicably. She is worthy of being the dream lover of so many omegas. Her figure is impeccable. I suddenly felt a warm current in my nose, and the next second, bright red liquid dripped down, bringing my thoughts back to reality. Damn, my nose is bleeding? I could only close the door gently while Logan was busy and not noticing, and then deal with my own mess. The dormitory door opened just as the blood blocked it. "Owen, what are you doing?" Isaac, who had just entered the room, was stunned for a moment. He took a closer look and couldn't help but joked. "Ouch, why is your nose bleeding?" Could it be that he watched something interesting behind our backs and got too excited? "Shut up. I'm just irritated by the dry weather." Damn, how come you always guess it right? My mind was in a mess, filled with the scene of what Logan had just done, and I didn't even hear the bathroom door open. The cold hand suddenly covered my incredibly hot face, making me shudder. Logan's low and hoarse voice sounded in my ears. "Why is your face so red?" He came closer, and the scent of lemon shower gel wafted from his body, mixed with a hint of white peach. The string in my brain suddenly snapped, and I dodged in a stressful manner, but I didn't expect that because of the excessive movement. I almost fell to the ground with the chair. Are you okay? Logan held on to both sides of the chair. As the distance between us suddenly shortened, his cold lips brushed across my earlobe. My breathing paused for a moment and I felt a little dazed. Ouch, Owen. You have a nosebleed and you almost fell down. You are not lucky today. Isaac had just finished joking when Logan's voice rang out the next second. Nosebleed? Why is your nose bleeding? The warm breath sprinkled on my earlobe, making me feel itchy. My heart suddenly skipped a beat and I stood up suddenly, feeling a little uncomfortable. Maybe I got angry. I'm going to take a shower. As if I had found an excuse to escape, I quickly left the place where Logan appeared. When I finally finished taking a shower and came out, he was gone. Logan is the president of the club and has a lot of things to do. Jack said that he left in a hurry this time because he had a meeting to attend. I returned to my seat, only to find a box of fire-clearing tablets lying on the table. The mixed scent of lemon and white peach in the air had not yet dissipated. Perhaps it was because I had never seen Logan in a state of lust, so the scene in the bathroom was particularly profound, kept replaying in my mind, causing him to appear in my dreams. Logan in the dream was just like in the bathroom. His clothes were all off. His dark eyes were full of lust, hot and straightforward. The muscle lines on his arms were prominent, and he kept moving, causing his protruding Adam's apple to roll, as if he was whispering, and his thin lips opened and closed. Suddenly, the scene changed, and it was still Logan, but this time the situation was different. He was no longer alone, but it became Logan and me. He bit the back of my neck, as if marking it, and began to inject pheromones. Soon, the white peach-scented pheromones filled the entire room, mixed with my lemon-scented pheromones. The two pheromones blended and mixed with each other at this time, just like a close lover, ambiguous and affectionate. But I'm obviously an alpha. How could I be willing to be marked, especially by Logan? How so? I was confused, but no one could answer my questions. The me in front of me didn't struggle at all. I just kept asking Logan to be gentler, gentler. When the lemon pheromone touched his body, I heard him speak with a smile in his voice. Owen, you're so cute. I really like you so much. The string in my mind suddenly snapped. I opened my eyes abruptly, looked around, and was a little dazed. My heart was beating fast. I touched my chest, and couldn't help but feel lucky that it was a dream. Just when I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, I suddenly realized that something was wrong with my body. Lemon-scented pheromones began to overflow, and I was shocked to find that my body was already extremely hot. It was already early in the morning and my roommate had already gone to bed. I climbed out of bed carefully and walked into the bathroom. The temperature on my face was so high that I couldn't help feeling a little guilty. I closed my eyes, feeling a little impatient. As I approached the top, Logan's face appeared in my mind. His lips, his hands, his collarbone, and more. Soon, the whole bathroom was filled with a scent of lemon pheromones. My legs felt weak and I leaned feebly against the bathroom wall. I put my hands on my face, feeling the scorching heat and my heart beating wildly in my chest. Why Logan? Why him? Something seemed to be breaking out of the ground. 10. The fact that it was my good brother's face that appeared in my mind at that indescribable moment hit me hard, and a feeling of shame arose spontaneously. I didn't fall asleep almost the entire night, and only felt sleepy at dawn. When I woke up the next day, it was already 10:30. I opened the bed curtains and saw that Isaac and I were the only ones in the dormitory. Where did they go? I asked as I climbed out of bed. Jack is chasing after his alpha childhood sweetheart. Logan has a club meeting, so he left early in the morning. After saying that, he tooted his tongue twice and jokingly said, "But I didn't miss your breakfast despite my busy schedule. I'm really envious." I followed his gaze and, sure enough, there was a takeaway box on the table. It contained soup dumplings from an off-campus restaurant that I really liked. But his shop is very popular and they don't offer takeout, so there's always a long queue every time I go there. I remember I complained to Logan about this not long ago, and now he's right in front of me, and my heart skipped a beat. Isaac's voice continued, "If you ask me, Logan really dotes on you. He gives you the stars and the moon when you want them, just like doting on his wife. If you weren't both alphas, I would have suspected that he had a crush on you. The words secret love fell slowly and hit my heart. If what happened last night hadn't happened, I might not have taken these words to heart. But it happened. Logan's rosy lips and the words, "I like it," appeared in my mind again. The temperature on my cheeks suddenly rose, and an inexplicable emotion passed through my heart, itchy and swollen, as if it was being bitten by ants. At this moment, I was extremely glad that I had my back to Isaac so that he couldn't see the emotions on my face. It took me a while to find my voice again, and I felt a little nervous. Why do you say that? Ah. Isaac was stunned for a moment, then he reacted and said, "You're talking about this, think about it, the soup dumplings you were talking about not long ago. Logan gave them to you not long ago. Last week you said you wanted to watch the sunrise and he went with you without a second thought. Last month you posted on WeChat moments that you wanted to eat a lollipop that was out of print, and he ran across half the city to buy it for you. And last time, he listed them one by one, and my mind went blank. Then I remembered all the things Logan had done for me, which he had mentioned so lightly and forgotten. My heart skipped a beat, and I couldn't help but feel a little more panicked, and I didn't know why. Finally, Isaac seemed to remember something and spoke again. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Many people in school like you. As he spoke, he picked up his phone and swiped his fingers. The next second, my phone started vibrating. I clicked it and found it was a link. Someone even wrote a fanfiction about the two of you. I'm not sure what this is about, and I have to go on a date so you can enjoy it by yourself. I'm leaving now. Isaac's face turned red, and he began to stammer, feeling a little unnatural, and finally looked like he was running away. What's wrong with him? I was confused and opened the link. Soon I knew why Isaac was so unnatural. 11. Is this the kind of article that a pure girl should write? Can this really be sent out? Is this really not going to go in? Watching the car skills on the screen comparable to the oral literature of the flower market, my cheeks instantly burned up. Looking at the mirror on the wall, I saw a blush all over my face, and even the tips of my ears were covered with blood. Also, why should Logan be on top and I have to be on the bottom? I am also an A, right? I gritted my teeth and started typing. Why is Logan the top? Owen is obviously more A. Why can't he be on top? As soon as I finished posting, the author immediately replied, Owen can be on top, but it's just that Logan has to be inside him. He added an emoticon with a squinting smile as he said this. Thank you for letting me think of a new pose. Love you, moi. Oh? What new posture? I was puzzled, and then the action appeared in my mind. My breathing stopped for a moment, and my already rosy face became even redder. Depend on. Am I digging a hole for myself? I started to comment crazily, trying to persuade the author to turn back from her wrong path. But no matter what I said, she ignored me. Instead, the readers got emotional. Don't say that anymore. A wife like this must take a detour. Yes. Now that she has walked the right path, who will cook for us? Wow, don't persuade me. Teacher, I'm hungry, I want to eat. No, you little yellow flowers of our motherland, you won't listen to any advice, right? Learn new ideas and strive to become a new youth. Do you understand? I started to join the comments section and argue with them. I was so immersed in my own world at that moment that I didn't hear the approaching footsteps. 12. What are you looking at so intently? Logan's deep voice rang in my ears, and I was startled. I covered the screen of my phone with my hand and turned back subconsciously, but I saw his face magnified n times. I felt a warm and soft touch on my lips, and there seemed to be a faint smell of white peach. I suddenly widened my eyes, and the taut string in my mind suddenly broke, and then it hummed, and it couldn't move at all. Logan and I kept our lips pressed tightly together, as if neither of us had recovered from the suddenness of the moment, and neither of us separated. Until a few seconds later, I heard the sound of a key being inserted into the lock outside the door. Owen, your dad is back. Isaac's voice sounded outside the door, and I came back to my senses. I tilted my head back suddenly, The temperature on my face rose rapidly, and my heart was beating fast. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't expect you to be behind me. My mind was in a mess and even my speech was a little unclear. I lowered my head, feeling a little ashamed. I didn't dare look at him or the expression on his face, whether it was embarrassment or anger. Suddenly, I heard a chuckle from above my head. Logan's voice sounded, and not only did it not have the emotion I was worried about, but it was mixed with a bit of joy. He said my name, Owen. That was my first kiss. I raised my head and was about to say something like I would make it up to him, but he spoke before me. I was afraid of scaring you, but now I feel like, it seems I can't wait any longer. As if expressing his feelings, a gentle look appeared on his face. I like you. I've liked it for a long time. I really want to chase you. What is Logan talking about? He said. He likes me? And you still want to pursue me? Is he confessing to me? It was as if someone had pressed the pause button on my breathing, and something in my brain seemed to have exploded with a bang, making it impossible to think at all. I was completely stunned, looking at Logan's serious face, not knowing how to react, not knowing how to respond to this sudden, unexpected confession. Fortunately, Isaac came in when I was in trouble. What bad luck! My girlfriend's college is going to hold a lecture and she was picked, so she can't make an appointment. There are so many things going on in school every day, he said as he walked away, looking away from his phone, a little surprised. Logan? You're back too. The person who was called answered, his eyes still on me. Why are you two standing so close to each other? And why is Owen's face so red, like a cooked crawfish? Fine. I was about to respond to Isaac, but Logan spoke first. The next second, I felt a weight on my head, and his hand landed on it and seemed to rub it, like petting a dog. You don't need to feel any burden. That's my business. Whether it succeeds or not, I have no regrets because I really have waited too long. After saying that, he placed what he was holding on my desk. Eat the crawfish you said you wanted to eat yesterday while it's hot. He turned around and started walking out. No, what are you talking about? What's your business or my business? Why don't I understand anything? Isaac scratched his head, looked at me, then at Logan. Logan, where are you going? Bathroom. His voice became much deeper, which immediately reminded me of the blushing and heart-pounding incident last time, and my thoughts became even more confused. 13. After Logan's figure completely disappeared, Isaac walked closer to me, lowered his voice, and hesitated. No. Why is the atmosphere between you two a little weird? Did you show him the message I sent you? No. After I answered, I lay down on the table and pretended to be dead. It's more embarrassing than showing him what you sent. What should I do? I feel like crying, but I have no tears. The things Logan did for me began to emerge in my mind. My thoughts gradually became clearer, and those things that could not be explained seemed to have found answers. Why did he lose control and climb into my bed that day? Why would he do that to me? Why was he so determined to make amends? Why is he so nice to me? Turns out that it's all because he likes me. 14. When Logan said he wanted to pursue me, he really meant it. Ever since that day when he broke the window paper, the way he looked at me was hot and scorching, and the emotion in his eyes was so strong that it was about to overflow. Various things appear on my desk every day, and without exception, they are all what I like. Isaac came over to check curiously. No, who is chasing Owen? The gifts he sends every day are different. It's really painstaking. Suddenly, I felt a burning gaze from behind, causing my body to stiffen. Logan, I asked you to deliver it, you must know about it. Tell me about it and satisfy my curiosity. Yes. He started to speak, and I turned around and interrupted him hurriedly. It's an omega. Then I stared at him, afraid that he would say something that would make me sweat again. Yes, it's an omega. Seeing that he was sensible, I was relieved. Isaac was shocked. If you're not an omega, can you still be an alpha? What I want to ask is what his name is and what he looks like. Logan, please tell me. The alpha who was called moved his mouth as if he wanted to answer, but I quickly stopped him. Shut up! Then he turned to Isaac and said, his name is Tai Zhu, and he is very ugly. Okay, okay, don't ask any more questions. Hey, kid, how can you gossip about others behind their backs? Do you know that this is a scumbag behavior? I couldn't help but push him into the corridor and said, didn't you just say you were going on a date? Go now or your date will be angry. Fuck. Show some respect to your father. I'll take care of you when I get back. 15. After finally sending Isaac away, I suddenly remembered that there seemed to be only Logan and I left in the dormitory, and Jack was rarely home. As soon as I turned around, I almost ran into a wall of flesh. Am I ugly? Logan is about 2 centimeters taller than me. At this moment, he looked at me with his eyes lowered, and his voice sounded a little sad. The sad look on his handsome face made me lose my temper all of a sudden and made me forget what I wanted to say. Actually not really. Then am I really annoying? Chasing you like this? Do you hate me? This isn't really annoying. I don't think it's annoying. Then why don't you like me? Don't you have any feelings towards me at all? Logan moved closer to me, and I stepped back until my back was against the cold wall. You really can't accept me? His warm breath fanned my face and my heartbeat suddenly quickened, frightening me so much that I quickly used my hands to block his approach. I like omegas. After I finished, I still felt that it was not clear enough, so I continued to add, I like sweet and soft omegas. Did you hear that, omega? Sweet and soft. You don't meet any of the requirements. Give up. Unexpectedly, Logan grabbed his wrist and pulled it towards his abdomen. The temperature spread through the fingertips, scalding and burning. A tingling sensation exploded in my mind, and Logan asked, as if to seduce me, is it really not okay if I'm not an omega? That body, one more muscle would be too much, one less would be too little, but now it is just right, the body that countless alphas dream of. Suddenly I felt a little dizzy. My Adam's apple rolled involuntarily, and the blood in my body was stimulated to boil. People always do stupid things when they are not sober. By the time I reacted, my lips were already bruised, and the whole dormitory was filled with the smell of my and Logan's pheromones. At the end, I heard him ask, is it really not possible, Alpha? I will try to make you feel better. I was so exhausted that I could only bury my head under the pillow. I'm so embarrassed that I can't even face anyone. 1 second she swore that she liked omegas, and the next second she was seduced by beauty. Owen, you are such a pervert. 16. My relationship with Logan has changed. Perhaps it would be more accurate to say that I lost my mind. Every morning, when Jack and Isaac went to bed, Logan would climb onto my bed, hold my head, and kiss me, under the pretext of practicing his skills and giving me a better experience. Stupid experience. I don't know why. Maybe I was really stupid. It was definitely not because I was attracted by Logan's beauty. He agreed reluctantly. In fact, I have my own rhythm. After all, he is quite good-looking, has a good figure, a nice voice, a good service attitude, and I'm getting off topic. Anyway, I didn't suffer any loss. Our relationship continues like this. When no one was paying attention in class, Logan would secretly hold my hand under the table and interlock our fingers. When Isaac and Jack were busy with their own things in the dormitory and had no time to pay attention to us, he would suddenly walk up to me and give me a kiss. The relationship between us became very subtle. If I really had to describe it, I could only use one word. Affair. Sneaky, but quite exciting. All fluctuations are hidden beneath the calm surface of the lake. Seems calm, but in fact there are undercurrents. 17. As usual, I had no classes in the morning. When I woke up, it was already 9:30. I climbed out of bed leisurely. On the table was the breakfast that Logan had packed for me. As I was eating, I opened my phone and happened to receive a message from Logan. Are you awake? I was so busy last night that I accidentally left a mark. There is ointment on the table. Please wipe it off. I looked through the mirror and sure enough, there were a few red marks on my neck, left by Logan last night. The tips of my ears suddenly turned red and my heart started beating faster. I couldn't help but curse in my heart. Damn, Logan must be a dog. I had no choice but to pull my collar higher and open the ointment package. Not long after I applied the ointment, I heard the voices of Jack and Isaac outside the door. They sounded quite excited, especially Isaac. Sure enough, the next second the sound of a key being inserted into the keyhole was heard, and then their eyes met. Jack looked at me with a strange expression, but Isaac, on the other hand, walked over to me after being stunned for a moment, with a gossipy look on his face. Oh my God, Owen, do you know what I saw? What? As soon as I asked, Isaac couldn't wait to reveal. Logan, oh my God, he's in love. I saw him dating a really pretty Omega sister. Ah! I suddenly choked on the soy milk I had just drunk and started coughing violently. What the hell did you say? Who is in love? Who the hell went on a date? Seeing my puzzled look, he wanted to continue speaking, but was stopped by Jack beside him. He is short-sighted and can't see anything. Ignore him. Hey, my vision is 5.3, great, who said I'm nearsighted? Don't believe it? I have evidence. I took photos. If you don't believe me, I'll show them to you. Jack continued to stop her. Okay. Stop it. Wait. Let him show me. I spoke, watching Isaac looking through the photo album while Jack, who was standing beside me, rubbed his forehead speechlessly. Here. Look. Isn't it beautiful? I smiled, then gritted my teeth and said, It looks great. It really looks great. The alpha in the photo has a faint smile and looks very happy. He is looking at the girl next to him with a smile in his eyes. Anyone who sees them would say that they are a perfect match. I squeezed the ointment package that I had just opened. I smiled but didn't really smile. Where is Su Wu? I'll send him some blessings. In the West. After getting the answer, I quickly got up from the chair and ran over there. Before leaving, I heard Isaac's puzzled voice. Strange. Why does it feel like Owen is a little off? Jack sighed. Stop talking now. 19. Oh, you're not in the right mood? What's wrong? I'm pretty normal now. Is this really like taking advantage of me while flirting with others, eating from the bowl and looking at the pot? Damn, what a scumbag. I'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs. I walked while cursing in my heart, and soon arrived at the West Drill Ground. I looked carefully and quickly spotted Logan's figure. In the sight, he who was always cold to outsiders was smiling at the beautiful Omega mentioned by Isaac, holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand. The most important thing was that the Omega naturally adjusted Logan's collar, and Logan looked accustomed to it, and his smile became more pleasant. Okay, laugh, I'll make you laugh. At this moment, I just felt the anger rushing to my head and my steps became faster and faster. If you dare to play tricks on me, I'll tear you apart. When I was about 1 or 2 meters away from Logan, I suddenly said, Logan, you fucking bastard, before I could even utter the word, scumbag. The bouquet of flowers was suddenly handed to me, and I was totally stunned. I asked but met Logan's eyes. His dark eyes were full of smiles, reflecting my appearance. He came closer to me and said softly, Owen, I like you. Can you accept my confession? People walking around the playground looked at them sideways, and some even started to make noises. Oh my God, someone is confessing their love. Let me see. Oh my God, it's Logan and Owen. Logan confessed his love to Owen. The CP I like is real. Ah, my family. Who knows? This is really the case. There was a lot of noise around me, but I was the only one who was confused and had a lot of questions in my head. I lowered my voice and moved closer to Logan. No, what are you doing? Aren't you dating an Omega? Why did you suddenly confess to me? Logan chuckled, and his cold lips moved close to my ear, almost touching it, and his breath was on it as he spoke, which made me feel itchy and tingling. That's my sister. She wants to see you. Oh, sister. Oh? What? Logan's sister. My eyes fell on the beautiful Omega sister in front of me. She smiled at me, which made me feel a little ashamed for a moment. I'm so embarrassed. But before I could think of anything else, Logan's voice sounded again. So, Can you accept my confession? I kept a little distance and was a little arrogant. No, you said yes and I agreed. Am I that easy to woo? Logan moved closer. Owen. Well, actually I'm fine. You should at least let me know why I chose you. I'll be obedient and bring you food. Yeah, I nodded. I'm diligent and can help you with the work. Yeah, not bad. I like to learn. And I will definitely improve my skills. Wait. Well, I was about to say I was satisfied when I suddenly realized what was happening and quickly covered Logan's mouth. Why do you say everything? Isn't this so glorious? Suddenly I felt something wet on my palm, and my face flushed red when I realized what it was. You, acting like a hooligan in public. Damn it! Just as she was cursing in her heart, Logan spoke again, his voice low and hoarse, yet with a hint of tenderness. Husband. My body suddenly froze, and the burning heat in my palms began to spread throughout my body. The whole world became quiet at this moment, except for the deafening heartbeat. May I? I put down my hand that was blocking Logan's throat. I felt a little awkward and lowered my head to avoid looking at him, but I still answered, barely. Approved. My heartbeat can't lie, so I plan to follow my heart. I like Logan. I don't know when I started to like him. That's why I allowed him to get close to me, allowed him to kiss me, and allowed him to have intimate contact with me again and again. This heart has already fallen and accommodates the alpha in front of me who is expressing his love to me. Logan chuckled, then tilted his head, grabbed the back of my head, and kissed me in public. I put my arms around his waist and responded. The surroundings were filled with people's cheers and blessings. We kissed in this grand blessing. I think Logan and I will be happy. White peach and lemon go best together. Extra Logan. When Logan was 10 years old, he lived with his grandmother for a long time. He was very withdrawn at that time, didn't like going out, didn't like playing with others, so he didn't have many friends. Later, a couple moved in next door to my grandmother's house. The couple had a very good relationship and had a son who was very cute and had a very lovable personality. His name was also very nice, Owen. Owen pestered Logan the first time he met him because he thought he was good-looking and insisted on playing with him. Logan didn't pay much attention to him at first, but Owen would cry every time, and he got annoyed with it and just responded to him. Slowly, their relationship got better and better. One day, while playing with his toys, Owen suddenly said, "Brother Logan, I really want to be an Omega." Why? Logan asked subconsciously, looking up to see Owen's smiling face. He looks very handsome when he smiles with two shallow dimples. Because I want to be Brother Logan's lover and be with Brother Logan for the rest of my life. I like Brother Logan so much. Logan was stunned and realized that Owen might have watched too many TV dramas and started talking nonsense. After all, no one could predict the outcome. However, he still wrote down this sentence and kept it in mind for 9 years. Not long after, Logan was taken back to his home. When he returned to his grandmother's house again, Owen's family had already moved away. No one knew where they had moved to, and no one knew how to find Owen. He kept watching but found no clues. It was not until he participated in a competition in his senior year of high school that he finally met Owen, the person he had been looking for a long time. Owen did not become an Omega as he had hoped when he was a child, but instead differentiated into an Alpha. He didn't remember him, didn't remember the brother Logan he always pestered. For the first time, 18-year-old Logan tasted the sour, bitter, and astringent feeling in his heart. He thought maybe it was because he took it seriously and took the childish words he heard as a child seriously. Or maybe he fell in love with Owen. No one knew how fast Logan's heart was beating at the moment of reunion. So fast that even he himself found it unbelievable. But he didn't dare because he also differentiated into Alpha. He didn't dare to chase him rashly, for fear of arousing his disgust. He could only quietly inquire about him from behind, finding out everything about him. Later, they went to the same university. Maybe God was blessing him and heard his wish to be closer to Owen. So he put him and Owen in the same dormitory. He wanted to behave well in front of him, but the opposite happened. Not long after school started, his susceptible period arrived early, and white peach-scented pheromones overflowed, violently and uncontrollably. Owen arrived at this time and took him to the school infirmary. But at that time, he was still a bit rational. Perhaps he was afraid of being exposing his hidden emotions, so he frantically chased him away, not wanting him to see his loss of composure. But he didn't expect that he would misunderstand him and ignored him for a whole year. Until later, Logan received a text message from Owen. "Hey Logan, I want to have a baby with you." No one knew how excited he was at that moment. Although it was obvious that the message was sent because he lost the game, he still pretended to be confused and took that step. Then, whenever Owen posted something, she would use her secondary account to deliberately lure him in, tricking him into gradually accepting her ill intentions towards him. Fortunately, he succeeded. Owen, who called him Logan brother, the alpha who always had a sharp tongue but a soft heart, was very soft-hearted and gave him chances again and again. Owen finally liked him. His secret love finally saw the light of day.